What up, what up, what up? Welcome in. It is Pregaming, Sports Money, TGIF to everybody that's out there rocking tonight with us. Gonna be a good night. Good night tonight. Appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out here. You could be anywhere on Friday. You're choosing to stop in here and get it done. Let's make sure the mic's going. Super echoey today. Super echoey. Let's just move this a little closer. Let's see if we can't get to some business. How's everyone doing tonight? How we doing? Let's take a look at this little update here on the left. We got the Angels on the poop list. 0-1. Time on the list. One day. 0-1, 1 day in. That's how you make yourself a viable poop list candidate. You got to keep losing out there. Excited for today's show, you guys. We got ourselves a banger. It's a full Major League Baseball card. Last series before the All-Star break. I am sure the trickery will be abound. So we do have to keep our eyes open for this. It's so funny to hear everybody's talking in the world now about the All-Star break and teams that are struggling early but had high expectations should be pushing hard. Well, no shit. We've been talking about that the last two series. Welcome to the fucking world. Let's go out there and let's see if we can't show them how we do it tonight. And what a night we had last night. I hope you guys made that cash as well. Holy cow. We're flying. We got another little sister wears the grandma's panties play of the day spot. The Cubs in the under 8.5. We sweat. We sweat for that one. They finished Cubs 8-0. That was tight. But that was a plus 295 spot to start the day off. We had the Cubs first 5 as well. Never in doubt. The Red Sox minus 1.5. Never in doubt. And how about Abreu? Home run, plus 750. RBI, plus 165. Big stuff there. The Houston first 5 team, total over 2.5. Never in doubt. Munoz, under 4.5 Ks. Your boy don't throw a lot of K props out there, but when I do, make sure you listen. That was never in doubt. The only problem we had was Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves, 1-0. Certainly the Atlanta and over spot didn't hit. Atlanta didn't hit. Disappointment. 4th inning. I had a nice little parlay that was a I think it was a 20, no, 30, maybe it was 40. It was 40-1 was the parlay that I had left, and Atlanta was the last leg. 4th inning, I go to make a drink. I'm like, they're offering me a 50% cash out. No hits on either side. I'm like, let's just stay the course. I come back, 5th inning. They're now offering me a 5-1 payout. 1-0. And that's how the game ended. So disappointed as I was, you know what? They're not going to win if they can't score. That game was never meant to be. But we will be back talking about Atlanta. And I see Atlanta and San Diego. Atlanta, San Diego tonight. Then we rolled on into the WNBA. 3 for 3. The Sky first half plus 6.5. I believe they won that first half outright. Huge. Best first half team, I believe, in the WNBA. 167.5 on the under. Got there as sweaty as it was. And then the Sky team total under 78.5. I think they had 74 points with 4 minutes to go in that game. And that got there for us as well. Hopefully some of you guys listen to me. We talked a little bit about our girl, Angel Reese. You know what? That's my girl. You guys stay away. You find your own. And her rebound unders cashed for us. So lots of good things happening out there. Lots of things moving around the world in sports for us. By the way, a quick golf update. We talked yesterday about Colin Morikawa. Top 20 to start the tournament was even money. Yesterday, his top 10 in the tournament was even money. Now, it's minus 200. His top 5 yesterday was plus 245. Now, his top 5 is plus 140. Don't be sleeping on this summer, you guys. I know you're not. I know you're here to make some cash. It was a lot of fun last night. We got to run it back, though, right? We got to keep building. We got to get that bankroll right because we have a huge live weekend of streaming for you guys ahead. So very, very excited. We've got, of course, the UFC back on Saturday. If you guys haven't done it yet, make sure you do go check it out. We got line movement galore on those fights that we talked about out there. The world is now starting to wake up on a couple of them, and you don't want to miss those opportunities. One's still a dog, very shortly going to become a favorite. The other one, the favorite, the minus 111 favorite, going to start steaming. So you're going to want to make sure you check those plays out, and you're going to want to be there Saturday. It's going to be a huge banger. We got MLS We got UFC, MLB, WNBA. We'll be talking soccer. We'll be talking the Euro Championship. We'll be talking the Copa, because Sunday night we roll into the Copa Championship. That's going to be a lot of fun out there. We got ourselves a little battle royale, and I can't wait to watch that with you guys. Never done a soccer live stream, so it'll be a first time. But cocktails will be flying. We'll be live betting. We'll be sweating together. We'll be cashing together, and that rolls us into Monday, the home run derby, the best tag team duo in live streaming history, racing with razor sharp picks. Mr. Cash is partnering up with Sports Money. The crew's going to be ready to give you guys those looks. I already started looking at some of these matchups for the first round of the home run derby. Lots of ways to play it, not just who's going to win it. We got matchups, we got sides, we got totals, we got all kinds of ways to play that thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's why it's important we win today. We build tomorrow and do what we do on Saturdays. We get some money on Sunday so we can play. So we can play around on Monday and take some big shots. That's what it's going to be all about, trying to get everybody paid. We're doing it anyways. We want to do it with you guys collectively. No Diddy. And I can't wait, you guys. It's going to be fun. It's going to be, make sure we pace ourselves. We got a long weekend ahead. Look, maybe you got to do something with the Mr. or Mrs. if that's the case. Well, you better do it tonight, because you do not want to miss what, or maybe Sunday brunch. Hey, go catch a brunch on Sunday. Because when it gets down to business, nobody cashes like the Sports Money crew. Not just a arrogant statement, just a fact. We live in the world of proof and facts, you guys. Data doesn't lie. Just the other assholes doing live streams. That's a fact. Can't wait for tonight, though, you guys. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button for us. We do have a lot of work to get into. As always, we got things happening here. We got to get these plays in. We got to talk about Major League Baseball. We got to talk about the WNBA. We got to get those plays in. We got to scrub. We got we'll have now third round matchups for golf that we'll talk about. We got to get into studying this UFC card and making sure that we finalize those plays. This is the work never ends. But when you're making that cash, does it even matter? Drink all night. All of a sudden the sun pops up. I'm like, it's time to get to work. Let's go, baby. It's going to be fun with you guys. So I can't wait. You guys know the deal here with Pregaming. 3 things we ask you to do. First and foremost, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Very important we get your guys' support. Help us continue to build this thing. I love the comments. I saw Deerslayer Ski making comments last night. Justin McKelvey making comments last night. Man, it's great. It's great for you guys. Thank you guys for showing that support and helping us continue to crack the code. We have a short clip from the UFC video that we did there, the 3-fight breakdown. We got the most views on it. We've had in anything but that Stanley Cup live stream. So it just shows, you guys putting that time and effort in to help us grow, continues to help us get those views. And that's going to lead us to more exciting events, more people collabing with the show, the stream, the network that we have here in Sports Money. And that means we're going to bring you guys more winners, more fresh faces that you haven't seen before. We'll have some fresh faces on Saturday. We'll have some fresh faces in the game on Sunday. And then we get back to work again on Monday. So thumbs up button is super important on pretty much everything that we're doing. I say do it for everybody. I don't give a shit if you do it for anybody, but do it for Sports Money. Come on, you guys. Where else are you making this kind of cash here in the dog days of summer? You know the deal. Number 2, grab that pen and paper. Important to write down the plays that we're talking about today. The look-ahead spots that we give you guys for the weekend. I'm sure we'll have some plays dropping in here for fights and everything else this weekend. And, of course, share your plays in the chat. We want to talk what you guys are on. Sharpest chat in the business. We've been working together for a long time now, refining, starting to think like the sharp, starting to find that cash, and we're seeing the dividends from it, you guys. Collectively, that's just hard work. We're all grinding. We all have the same focus and the same vision. Let's get that money from these bookies, and let's get it into our pockets. Very important out there. Let's see what is doing along this super sharp chat out there. Oh, boy. We got a new ringer in the house. The number 1 commenter today, Deerslayer Ski's got to chat Joe T up. It's got to chat him up. Says, what's up, Mikey? Looking forward to the weekend's action. Let's get it, everybody. Oh, man. So am I, Deerslayer Ski. It's going to be a ton of fun hanging out with the fellas, hanging out with the crew, and doing what we do. You know what it's all about. Joe T, there he is. Not the first commenter today. Not the first. Joe, you're slipping. You're slacking, Joe. You're slacking. He says, F your unders play of the day. The Minnesota Twins first 5 team total over 2.5. Look at that, a little plus 115 action out there. I like it. We will be talking about Minnesota, San Francisco. We'll be talking about a bevy of games tonight, as you guys can see on the right-hand side. Hopefully you guys are digging the graphics here. Always open for feedback on changes, positive vibes, constructive feedback. Anything but telling me I'm a pile of dog shit. I've already been cast away like a piece of dog shit. I don't need that anymore. Justin McCalvey says stacks play of the day. Jesus Sanchez over 1.5 bases plus 112. Shout out to you, Justin. Hope all is well in P-Town, my guy. Get it done. Keep doing your thing. NJ Stryker says, good evening, Mike. Best of luck to all. Cliff Yang, Arizona Cardinals, over 6.5. Anyone else like that? I think you mean the Diamondbacks. I don't know. Over 6.5 on the total. That's a low total if that is in fact the case. Cliff Yang, let me know what is that win totals? I'm curious what you mean. It's a low number. If it's win totals, at first glance, I'd have to say no. But I haven't looked at football. And in all fairness, aside from talking shit about week 1 with our guy Razor Sharp and that Philly Eagles, Green Bay Packers game down in Brazil, I don't even know who's playing on Mondays or on the first week of the season. So I only know that because it was a big game announced, and I've been riding Razor on it for the last 4 weeks at least. Gerald Jones says, Pippin ain't easy, crew. There we go. Best bet, Minnesota Twins -1 for the full game. Oldie says, last night was a smash. Yeah. Hell yeah. Man, we find that groove. We just keep rolling with it. We're seeing things very nicely. Jay Peasy says, what up, motherfuckers? Guys, check out Jay Peasy's video. He gave us a breakdown in that Texas-Houston game. We're not going to talk about it here because he talked about it there. So make sure you go check it out. Have to agree with everything he had to say. And he found a way to get plus money on the card. So make sure you check out our guy, Jay Peasy. If you're not following LA to the Bay all day, what are you doing? It's Jay Peasy. He might be igniting that East Coast, West Coast battle. And if I got to battle it with him, then I sure will. I don't want to. But this Best Coast stuff, I don't know. You guys better check the video out and see exactly what I'm talking about. Oldie says, Jay Peasy, this guy, all good up your way. I mean, he's on the Best Coast. Why couldn't it be good for him? Why couldn't it be good for Peasy? Kenny Wood says, what's up, Mike and gang? What's up, Oldie? At Jay Peasy, what's up? Vitalis. Vitalis is in the house. Is banger. Bangers, right? Let's go. It's Friday. Why wouldn't we banger? Jay Peasy says, Oldie. And there's Nasty Nate. Hit the like, or you let Jose sit on your lap. Listen, I hit the fucking like. I, as an instrument of process, I hit the like on everything I get it. Well, not everything. There's some things I don't like. But that's a different story. Give me some cocktails. I might tell you about it. Vital says, everyone has 20 plays tonight. I mean, hopefully we're practicing this casting a wide net. I don't have 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I've got some sub plays within, but I don't have 20. I think I got maybe a 12-pack total. I think I got a 12-pack tonight. That's usually the number that I work with there. I try to operate inside of that 10 to 12 play window because, again, I know with the way that I strategically go about it with the plus money spots, with the, those sister giving up her panties to grandma plays out there. I know those 3 to 1 spots. I know 10 to 12 plays is my sweet spot to cash. And I know if I have a real bad day, because things have been rolling, it's not going to bury me. So it's all about keeping the bankroll intact, not making additional deposits, but taking withdrawals. We got to take them withdrawals. Cameron Sinet in the house. This weekend's UFC card is going to be big money. You fucking know it, Cameron. I can't wait. I wish it was starting tonight, to be honest with you. I really do. We'll have to make way with some LFA, but I hope it was tonight. That gives me a little more time to study the card. We want to get those cash winners out there for you guys, of course. JP says Ken Wood. Like that stereo. Let's go. Winner circle. Hey, yo, Brittany Griner. Over 20.5 points. Caitlin Clark, double-double. The Liberty game out there tonight. That's going to pop off at 7:30. Let's go. Edgar Snipey. I saw him talking earlier. Maybe I shouldn't have put that on the screen before I read it. Maybe I should have. Maybe I shouldn't have, Edgar. You got me. And I thought about that only after we had our little back and forth conversation earlier today. But you got me. Trish M says, hey, all TGIF, top crocodile. That shut them boys down last night. Yeah, but 1-0. I mean, yeah, they got the win. They got the win, top crocodile. No doubt about that. Those are the only 2 losses on the night, which sucks, especially the parlay. You know, you take a unit loss, it is what it is. But the fact that I was getting the opportunity to build that thing, even if I had cashed out early, I might have by that 5th inning too, just seeing, I don't know. What are you going to do? Hindsight 2020, I guess, right? There we go. Coin. Orlando -4. About as easy as it gets in summer league action. I got some summer league action for you guys. I do. I sure do. Let me know if you guys want it. We want to know with our summer league thus far. If you guys do want that, I didn't put it on the screen. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to try to go back and update it. So that's the downside of having more of a graphic rich program for you guys. So, but I can talk about it. I certainly am happy to share it with you guys. But Orlando, I've got line steam now. I think it's 6.5 on some books. So I like Orlando -4, especially if you can still get that number. Kenny Wood says that, Mike, I'm thinking about playing LJ's trend about Houston first 5 over at home. Any thoughts about that one? I'll tell you what, you've got an Andrew Heaney 20-0 to the over spot tonight. So I don't think that's a bad idea. Make sure you check out Jay Peasy's video for sure. Maybe you can find a way to get a little same game parlay action. Hint, hint. Sancho says, I like the graphics, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Trying to dial it up a little bit for us here, We are we're no longer in the basement, we're moving on up. We've been winning, we've been cashing. It's time to dial up the show as well. Red Bearded Chick says, my card is loaded tonight by Dallas. Philly Eagle Flyers giving everybody the shammer. Says, what's up? Basically, Trisha M says, I'm waiting for the sports money. They not like us graphic. They don't win like us. They don't win like us. I'll tell you what, I don't know who wins like us. I've become convinced. I already knew it was a cesspool, but these fucking games people play. Are you winning or aren't you? I mean, that's what it comes down to. John Chow says, nice new format, Mike. Yeah, I appreciate it, John. Appreciate the recognition, my guy. Thank you very much. J Stone 9 says, Mets first 5 run line. Houston money line. Plus 168 for J Stone. Busting that parlay out there. I think I like that. RVD 420 says, what's up, money? Mikey, let's get this cash. I'm focusing on soccer on Saturday and Sunday. Let's get it. I'll tell you what, I'm not an MLS capper, but watch these Steam reports and watch the cash flow movement because there's been a lot of gold in them hills. Philly Eagle Flyers is tied after second. Tigers, Angels, White Sox games. There we go. There's a little 3 spot for you guys. Get that action in. Jay Stone says, pimp that Friday. Cliff Yang, NFL season win total. I thought that's what you meant, Cliff, after you said it. I would defer to the chat in this case here. I'm not a big season totals. I mean, I guess it depends on what the payout is, but I guess everybody's bankroll is different. I just feel like I could if it's a -110 or it's a +120, shit. If I tied that money up for you got to wait till January to get that, right? Or do they have to wait till the season's over in February? Or do they pay it out as soon as they get there? I don't know. Depends on if you're on the over-under, I guess. Justin McKelvey guy says, I liked and commented on JPZ's video. Goddamn right you did, McKelvey. We appreciate that, dude. Let's go. Vitalis says, are you doing a Saturday MLB show or focusing on UFC? Vitalis, what makes it the best damn sports stream in the business is we cover everything. We got the whole gamut. Every game that's going on will have some type of take on it from one of our panelists. That's the marching order coming in on Saturday. You better be ready to talk about something, not just sitting in the corner cashing everybody else's place. Everyone's going to be contributing. So we will focus on everything. Everything is going to be out there. The whole show is going to be loaded with best bets for you guys. I remember that Saturday, the last Saturday, we had a double dipper on the WNBA. And, because the UFC went till almost 2 a.m., that thing cashed. We almost didn't even notice it. We almost didn't even notice that thing cashed. That's how much that we were winning on that show. Juggler 23, here we go. The MLB trend. Teams that have won their last 4 games but are playing on the road as a large dog plus 140 or more have struggled. 21-49, down 9 units in their last 70 tries. Edgar. JP says Trisha M is a low-key hip-hop head. Respect. Sancho says Jeff, Mike, and Sub are guaranteed money in the UFC, man. Thanks for noticing, Sancho. We sure are. We sure are. And it's fun. Nobody wants to lose to their buddies. So we all try to bring our best game out there. And again, you can try to bring some new guys in, some new panelists in to give you guys some of their looks as well. Edgar Snipey says, LOL, the number 2 emoji on the graphic set the tone. Told you guys, I wanted to put a shit list together for a minute now. And I don't know what took me so long. But here we are. We're here. We got it. We'll keep updating. We'll always have a situation. I'm always open for you guys. Tell me what you think. If there is a new shit list candidate that needs to make the list, then we will get them up there. We will track them, and we will all make sure that we do our best to stay away from them. So it's not just about me tossing the team that I've shit the bed on multiple times, but I want to hear what you guys have out there too. Let's get them on the list and let's track these scumbags. Let's make sure we're not falling into those traps. We work together. Win or lose, we booze, but we certainly don't want to be stepping in shit. So any kind of it, for that matter. It doesn't matter if it's dry and fossiled or what kind it happens to be. There we go, Juggler 23, 4-0 yesterday, over 12 units of profit. Can we keep it up? We'll see. Peasy's giving Stacks this shout out. John Chow says Magic already won by 30. Oh, that's how dialed in I was to that one, John. I had him on the list. I got the list written down over here, but I got a whole bunch of them in there. Julian Cesario says, what up, pimp? Chat. Dodgers and Red Sox for him today. Thoughts? Any thoughts? Let's hear what your guys' thoughts are. I don't think we have those games on the radar. Should have turned the air off, man. It's getting toasty in here. We're getting toasty. Voodoo Ranger 95 says they hate us because they ain't us. That's damn right. There's a lot of hate going on out there too. That's what happens. You know what? Let's stay positive. Let's keep building. Let's keep winning. All are welcome. And that drives them nuts, Voodoo Ranger. It drives them fucking crazy. Batshit crazy. But hey, listen, it's for the people. I love you guys. And I appreciate you hanging out with us. So I'm happy to keep it rolling. Juggler 23 says tonight's MLB plays. Fresh off of a monster for our guy. Brewers minus 210, 3 units. Padres plus 110, 4 units. 4-unit plays now 28-10. Says, let's go. Let's go. Peasy says, JC from Covina. I'll bet Red Sox on Friday. Pay attention to Peasy, man. He is tight with those days of the week. Juggler says, Vitalis, did you move back into your penthouse? Julian Cesaro says, JP from Pomona. Pomona, my guy, Julian Cesario. Let's go. Juggler 23 says, the trend applies to betting the cards. Betting St. Louis. I'll tell you what. St. Louis has lit up the fucking tree today. But the number's so big, the only way to get in there is minus 1.5. I'll tell you, I thought about parlaying that minus 1.5 with something else, or at least the money line with something else. I just don't. You got to watch Peasy's video because we'll talk a little bit about the home team spots in these situations. Joe T says, Joe T, your mom plays the underplay of the day. Number 2, he's giving us another look out there. The A's and the Phillies. He is going directly head to head with the grandma wears your sister's panties spot out there. Vital says, LOL, I did. But I have like 8 plays out today and listening to Mike, so I might be kicked out of the penthouse if tonight doesn't go well. Oh, no, man. Listen, I got a couch. He says, Angels on my list every year. Mine too. Just this year seems to stand out more than any. Jugglers giving Vitalis the bet responsibly. Edgar likes the Dodgers, Tigers, Nerfy is hot. The batches. Kush God. Good Kush God in the house. It's good to see you. Keith, it's great to see you, my guy. Nasty Nate says the Red Sox are going to smash tonight. And Oldie says, Justin McKelvey, does the Tigers line feel trappy to you? Kush God says, Mikey Money, who said, pimping ain't easy. Oldie says, Keith Edgar Stride, what's up? Morgan Spooner, the Stros, team total over 4.5. Dominic Diaz, smoking in Vegas. Taking early action with the Nerfy in that Tigers-Dodgers game. You guys know I'm good for a Nerfy. Let me see what's going on. Shit. I don't want to miss the party. I don't want to miss the Nerfy party. Let's see. 6:40. I'd like to be done with it by then with you guys. It's a little juicy. All right, I'll lay in there with you guys. I'm not going to miss the I'm not going to. Oh, yeah, you had me at Nerfy. You guys. Let's go. Let's get this thing rolling here. We got work to do. It's time to get to business. We already talked about yesterday. Rolling down the road here. Let's get into this. By the way, well, we'll talk about it at the end. We will talk about it at the end. Let's get into what is happening with this Major League card. My Major League Baseball card officially opens up with, where does it officially open up? Let's see here. Let's see. You know, there's a lot of spots I really like tonight. I definitely had to hone it in a little bit because I don't want to be too wide on a Friday, and you got to be cognizant of that. But I did open up here with 705. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else that pops off in between. I am. I sure am. I'm glad I checked. Let's go back to the old well. Now, this does kind of fall in line with Joe T's over spot there. So I am happy to that regard, but I am trying to thread the needle in this game. This line opened up as the Phillies are huge favorites, minus 270, of course. They're now minus 238, 96% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the Fighting Phils. The total went from 8.5 to 9. Half a run movement to the over. 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash. Hogan Harris is going to start on the A side of things with a 3.22 ERAs, 1-3. And there's Ranger Suarez, one of the best in the business to do it. The Phillies' entire pitching staff is running hot, but so Ranger Suarez might be the hottest piece of the components here. 2.58 ERA, 10-3 on the season. The Phillies got the boys back. Harper, Schwarber, and this is a Harper alert game. Harper alert game for anybody that's keeping track at home. I believe he's got a home run against every team in Major League Baseball except this Oakland A's team. So keep that in mind as you're looking at the numbers. Plus 270 is the home run opportunity for this guy. I'll tell you who I kind of like. I think it's a sneaky little play here tonight. The shortstop, certainly a key member of Team USA's victory over Venezuela, Trey Turner. I think he's alive for every prop and stat tonight. But my official play in this game here, I'm looking at the Philadelphia first 5 team total over 2.5. I just don't see how Hogan Harris is going to go out there and handle business at this point. I just don't think he's got the goods to be able to handle it. It was a late-minute starter announcement for this guy. And we've talked ad nauseum about these pitchers and what happens if they get out of rotation. They're creatures of habit. They need their expected start so they can go through their pre-day routines. And it wasn't until recently that they locked this thing in. When we look at Hogan Harris, he has mowed down this Phillies lineup. I say mowed down. He shut him down. Now, Kyle Schwarber is 3 for 3 against him. He's batting 1 in the order. Trey Turner's 0 for 3. I think that O's got to go for Turner tonight. There's Bryce Harper. Has not seen Hogan Harris yet. The lefty on lefty matchup. We look at what's happening out here. Bryce Harper eats lefties for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's got a 3.04 against lefties, 115 at-bats, 35 hits, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs. And we look at Hogan Harris against righties, 243. Okay. Against lefties, 43 points of movement, a 286 against lefties. His OPS against righties, 72.72. His OPS against lefties is a .83. They only got 2 lefties in the order here for these Phils, Schwarber and Harper. This is where I ultimately looked at that grandma spot because I just think the Phils are just fucking hot right now. I don't think they care. I don't think they're concerned about, hey, the All-Star break's coming up. Let's rest our pieces. Their guys have come back, and they brought them back, and they chose to bring them back when they did so that they can get out there. I was talking about this earlier. They got to see a certain number of major league pitches. They got to be able to go out there and kind of test the rehab and the injuries itself to be able to get that confidence so that when they get out of this All-Star break, they can get out there and continue to roll across Major League Baseball. That's why them boys are out there. And again, the only 2 lefties in the lineup against this Hogan Harris spot. Now, I say the only 2, but there is a switch hitter in Rafael Marchand who has come out of nowhere. They brought this guy up and he's been firing. They got rid of Whit Merrifield today, specifically so they could keep him and Weston Wilson in the lineup. They're trying to get things right. They're not trying to take their foot off the gas for this thing. So I do believe Philadelphia goes out there and smacks, but it's getting pricey. It is getting absolutely pricey, and I don't know that I want to be in the game with that kind of price tag. But I do like to get that in and out of business spot there. The first 5 team total over 2.5. Let's take advantage and exploit this Hogan Harris spot. Probably get 2 times through the order for Schwarber and Harper, unless he significantly shits the bed. In which case, we'll bring in that bullpen and we'll go smack him around if that's what we have to do. That big Dodgers series was huge for them boys. That lefty and Hogan Harris, to me, is just wrong place, wrong time for this guy. Furthermore, if you are looking at this Phillies team, this is what led me to this spot. Teams that are longer than a plus 155. Starter won as a big dog his last meeting. So big dog played beyond the Vegas expectations. And their team won the last game or lost by a run. That's Oakland. Those run line spots are 0-17. They're covering the run line by just a smidge over 3 runs a game. Says Philadelphia should beat this team by 4 or 5 runs. That's what it says. 0-17 spot. But there was other spots that I wanted to get onto with this card. So let's keep it rolling. Let's talk more about some Major League Baseball, and let's talk about those additional spots. We're looking down, see what you guys have to say here. Let's see. Yeah, everyone's moving on that Nerfy. Shout out to whoever put that one out there for us, because I know quite a few of you guys did, and I like it. I liked it enough to jump in on it. So Stern Company says Turner and Schwarber RBI. Morgan Spooner says this days of the week thing has me thinking, do you think WNBA teams all get on the I do believe that, Morgan Spooner. I do. I do. I'll just leave it at that. I do. It happens. It's science. Science. Ron Lofton says, Guy bet $50 on Suarez to hit a homer and caught the ball last night. I saw that. He had the ball in his hand and he had the phone in his hand. That was some crazy shit. Absolutely. Coin says, throwback Philadelphia Athletics game. Is it a revenge game? Is it a revenge game for them? Cameron Sinet says, we need that man in the chat. Ron Lofton. Oldie says, Justin McKelvey, right? I finally cashed on green bases over last night. No way I back Detroit again tonight. That's how I feel sometimes. You get your cash on a spot. You got to move the hell on. Voodoo Ranger likes Olsen to get a home run tonight in that Atlanta spot out there. Olsen, home run. Let's go on to game number 2. It's a big one. In fact, it's the big battle in the AL East. We saw the battle with Philadelphia, the number 1 team in the NL, against them Dodgers handle business. But now we got ourselves a little battle down there in Baltimore. It's a 7:05 start. The Yankees and the O's. O's opened up as a home dog. Now, you guys remember yesterday, we talked about home dogs and road dogs. Dog. Getting dogs barking out there. We see the Yankees open up as minus 136 road favorites. Pros versus Joe situation. If you guys remember the deal, we talk about the bets and the cash. The percentage of bets, percentage of cash. Typically, the bets are going to be the more public spots, the parlay spots. It's more of the aggregate. It's more of the combination of a lot of $5 bettors. No unit shaming, just as a fact. Then we look at the money. The bigger bettors typically going to fall under the sharper side of things. Now, not every single time, but as a general rule of thumb. Now what we have here is 67% of the bets on the Yankees. The Yankees. 67% of the bets on the Yankees, but 80% of the cash on the O's. Pros versus Joes. When we look at those 2 factors, we try to see how do the books react. In this case, which one are they more concerned with? Well, they're concerned with the Orioles cash coming in. Plus 116 down to plus 110. Total open at 9. It has not moved. 95% of the bets, 97% of the cash. It's Garrett Cole getting back on the bump, sporting his 6.75 ERA with a 1-1 season record. He's come back from his rehab assignment, and he has not looked good. He also hasn't gone very deep in some of these spots. This is a rematch from just about 2 weeks ago. We'll talk about that in a second. And then we've got Maury Povich on the bump for Baltimore with a 6.51 ERA, 1-3 on his season. The young prodigy trying to figure this thing out as well. And this is a true rematch in the sense of the term. Now, the Orioles coming off and getting swept. They got swept by the Cubs, 9-2, 4-0, 8-0. Those super hot bats have fallen onto ice. Then we look at the Yankees. Something not right in Yankee land. They got beat up that first game by Boston. Then they went out there, they beat Boston 14-4, then they lost 3-0. Then they lost the series to Tampa 1-2. Tampa bats are starting to heat up. We've been talking about that for 2 weeks now. Back to that Minnesota Twins spot 2.5 weeks ago in that series is when those bats came alive. I believe they went on to beat up Texas after that as well. Things have been doing okay when it comes to that Tampa team. But as far as this game's concerned here, a couple ways that I chose to attack this. Let's see. How did I attack it? Actually, there's one way I chose to attack this game. I'm looking at this Baltimore spot. I just went full game. Full game. I mentioned that. This was the Cole debut spot on June 19th. It was Povic's second start of the season. Control issues a little bit for Povic in that game. He had a lot of walks, a little excessive walk situation. But Baltimore was up in that game in the Bronx, right? It was the Yankees comeback. They go to extra innings, and Baltimore shut them down. That was it. Now we got a Yankees trend for you guys to consider here. The Yankees, 0-13. Straight up. Found a game in which they recorded 4 or more runs. I thought that was significant simply because we talk about the dump the truck factor. There's only one team that can go out there and score a shit ton of runs and then find a way to back it up the next time out there. And that's the Minnesota Twins, the aforementioned Minnesota Twins. But the Yankees with those cold bats had that little breakout. We saw what happened out there on the road, 5-4, loss. Couldn't play enough to get the win, but 5-3, 2-1, then 5-4. This is definitely going to be some of the higher scoring. What do they do in those spots? They're 0-13. They were favorites in every single one of those games. There's a reason that the pros are finding themselves on Baltimore tonight. Plus 110, the home dog factor. We talked about that being a full 20 points of improvement from the month of June to the month of July. You're not getting the Yankees at a discount in this spot. That ain't how this game works here. I believe it's a good Baltimore opportunity. 0-13. 0-13. We're going to get it. We're going to get after it there. I thought I saw, let's see. I thought I saw something. Gerardo, Mexican Liga tonight. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. Coin says Waldron now on the hill for San Diego. Jay Stone says funny because I'm on bomb plus 100. Let's go, Philly. AOD's giving Stacks the shout out. Ron Laughlin says, I left this game alone. I don't know if that changes your opinion or not. But we got Coin. He likes the O's. Says 115 feels right. Here. I agree. It does feel right. I'm excited about that game there. I think it's a good opportunity. AOD says GMA is wearing sister's panties again. No trouble, just trying to cash. Let's go. Let's roll onward. You guys see on the right-hand side. I did throw that out of order too. I wanted to make sure I got that Oakland Philly spot in there for you guys. If you are going to tail that first 5 team total over, let's roll onward and upward. Next game we're going to talk about for you guys. Kind of trying to keep that tight card here. There's quite a few games that I'm just not getting involved with. The Reds and the Marlins. Minus 174 now for the Reds. 90% of the bets, 95% of the cash on the Reds. I'll read you some of these splits for your consideration. The Kansas City Royals and the Red Sox spot there. I lean to the Kansas City team. The Red Sox open as even money. They stay at even money. They got 56% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the Red Sox. But that line hasn't moved whatsoever. Interesting spot for that slight home dog. The line has come down from minus 118 to minus 110 for Kansas City. Like I said, that Reds game, the total's dropping. 64% of the bets, 69% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 9.5 to 9. For anybody that's interested in those splits. The Mets, every time I bet Pete Alonso, Pete Alonso might be a candidate for the shit list. I don't bet him enough because I'm not a Mets fan. I'm a Phillies guy. So I don't bet enough Mets games to get involved in the Pete Alonso business. But every time I bet on that piece of shit, it's like Mike Trout. I just can't get a win from him. Speaking of Mike Trout, I don't know if you saw some potential discussion. Maybe the Yankees go after him and pursue him in the offseason. The Mets have moved from minus 235 to minus 285. 50 points of movement. 95% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the Mets. And the line's dropping. We have 95% of the bets and 95% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 9 to 8.5. No go for me. No bueno. Now, this Texas Rangers-Houston Astros game, the Astros opened up as home favorites, minus 164. We have 83% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the Stros. This line's dropped 20 points. Now minus 145. correlated movement on the Texas side from plus 138 to plus 128. We look at the total, 97% of the bets, 95% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 8.5 to 8. I heard the boys talking earlier today about the Rangers need this series, and they're questioning what the hell's going on with this Andrew Heaney decision. Here's what I think happens. PZ talked about this with the days of the week. I've talked about this as far as the matchups and the order you typically see. I mean, it's not rocket science. You see your ace against their ace, right? That's the way that baseball works. 1, 2, 3, 4 down the line in a 4-game rotation, barring any injuries. That's the way you roll it out there. Your worst guy goes last, and then you feed in with the bullpen. I think that there's a little strategy here. There's a little chess going on by this Texas Rangers team. I think they're good to punt this game. I think that's why they got Heaney out there on the bump. Again, that Heaney 20-0 spot. Maybe they're trying to get that rotation a little out of whack so that Heaney comes out there, gets the Brown battle, even though Brown's kind of struggled as of late. Then we see that they kind of get the mismatch. Now they go 1, 2, 3 against the 2, 3, 4 for the Astros. I think that's what's going on here, personally. I don't think it's anything more to read into than they need this series, and they're trying to get the advantage back after they choke up this game with Andrew Heaney. Let me see if I can find that Heaney stat for you guys. I referenced it 3 times now. Might as well try to find it. Let's see. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can find it on the fly like this. Victim of having, there's too many windows open here. Let's see if I can find it over here. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in her. Tell you that right now. Andrew Heaney, here it is. 20-0 to the over. When the total's greater than 7.5, he's coming off a non-quality start, and his pitch count was less than 95, but did not allow a home run. Essentially, he was lucky to get out of that game. It's a total that's not saying they're going to go out there and shove, but he didn't allow a home run. Again, the luck factor of getting out of there. They're averaging 13.2 runs per game on that one. So not my trend, but I'll aggregate that information for you guys. I know everybody's busy. It comes across the radar for me. I kind of take a note on it. I write it down, and then I get a chance to talk to you guys about it. Here we go. We got some Mexican soccer plays out there. Here we go. Skunt Blaster. What's up, Skunt Blaster? It's great to see you, man. Happy Friday. It's all over. San Luis draw. No bet, plus 115. And Fernando Mendoza in the house. Likes America, money line, and over 2.5 in that spot. Club America for our guy, Fernando Mendoza. And Gerald Jones says Texas, his dog of the day, money line. John says Nemo's the star of the team. He says, as a Mets fan, Pete Alonso's on his shit list. Yeah. There's a couple guys that, from a pitching perspective, Mike Trout is perpetually on my shit list. Mostly because he doesn't want to play with Bryce Harper in Philadelphia. But anytime I bet on that guy, he rolls over and fucking pukes. But let's go on to a game that, last game on the docket there, 8-10. I got distracted. Huge movement to the Brewers. Minus 196 has moved to minus 267. 94% of the bets, 99% of the cash have moved on this Brewers. Almost 70 cents of movement. And the totals moved a full run up. Now, you guys know my deal. The full run under, I auto play the over. Auto. And I mean auto. I mean, that's 100% of the time. That thing cashes like a fucking monster. I don't know about the over, though. I wasn't really tracking. I'm not a big over guy to begin with. So I used to be. Joe T knows. This line moved from minus 1.5 to minus 2.5 on the run line with 98% of the bets and 96% of the cash. It's Rutledge. Now, here's why. Rutledge coming out of Rochester. I said, this guy's so fucking bad. Nobody even noticed he got called up to the majors. He's got one previous start. 9 ERA in the majors. 9. I don't even think he went through the rotation once his last start. He got crushed. And they're putting him out there against Freddie Peralta. The Nats are in trouble, man. 42 and 52. Let's keep our eyes on the fade Nats moving forward. We might have to get a couple lists going. I'm going to have to reconfigure these graphics because we might need to have some fade lists going as well. But I do believe the Nats are going to be in that criteria. They started out pretty decent. They're now kind of showing their true colors. You got Rutledge going in there, frankly, out of desperation. And you got Patrick Corbin in the stable as well. Poor Gore. I wouldn't be surprised if they ship Gore out of there when trade time comes up. But Peralta, 3.95 ERA, 6-4. Then Brewers, 54 and 40. The Brewers will be on the fade list post All-Star break. All them grand slams that they had out there, they cannot sustain that pace. They played They got talk about, luck factors out there. I know you got to go out there and bang them and earn them. But Jesus, how many can you get in a row before you start going, all right, you've just blown you bloated every stat. There's absolutely no way they don't regress, in my opinion. So we'll keep our eye on those guys as well. But at 8-10, a game I'm involved with here is the Pirates and the White Sox. The Pirates and the White Sox popping off with a spot in the White Sox that opened at minus 158, now minus 162. 77% of the bets, 61% of the cash on the White Sox. We have a total that's moved a half a run, 7.5s to 8s. 96% of the bets, 97% of the cash. It's Gonzalez versus Crochet. What do we know about games after Skeens goes? Everyone was surprised that they pulled Skeens as he was rolling on that no-hitter. That's not the first time, or not the no-hitter, but I guess maybe it was. It's not the first time they've done that, though. I think it's at least the second time that they pulled him in a wonky situation where they're like, why didn't they just leave him in there? They're babying that arm, and they should. It's probably the best asset that Major League Baseball has in its entirety right now, next to the Philadelphia Bats. Garrett Crochet with the White Sox, 3.08 ERA, 6-6 on the season. Gonzalez, 2.65 ERA, 0-0. The record on the season. Pirates got the win, 1-0. They lost 9-0 before that. Man, what a fucking series against the Brewers. They win 12-2. They lose 9-0. Then they win 1-0. Shutout seems to back with another shutout in some situations that are out there. Ramon. What up, Ramon? Says, Padres, pitching change tonight. Waldron in for Vasquez. Vasquez moves to Sunday. What do we got? What happened? What happened here, Morgan Spooner? My guy, what's up? He says, Rutledge giving up. Yeah, that's fucking terrible, man. It's my hometown. I know. Roger doesn't be. It's not a friendly ballpark. The way the wind shifts out of there coming off the river as well. It's not a offensive friendly spot, but they kind of, in a weird way they built it because it does kind of blow into the, if you guys follow, science, the delta, the mouth of the river, and then they got those little falls popping over there as well. So there's some factors that factor into that ballpark, and he stinks. That's what I said. He's parking cars when he's not a starting pitcher just so he can help justify his contract on the season. But, day after a skiing start, love to get on board with these fellas. Also, I am adding a spot as well here. Two things I'm doing here. I didn't have this one on the docket. I'll put this on here. Let me add this real quick. Easier for me to record keep it later. I love you guys. I'll give you more of my spots here. Actually, we're going to take it at this. There. And there it is. Let me talk to you guys about this spot, especially when it comes to sitting out here with our boy in Garrett Crochet. Probably going to be a trade candidate out there. There's actually another spot that I played in there as well. Let me put that in there too. Let me add this. I didn't realize how crunched things would be when I'm trying to add the overlay, and then I come in here and add this as well. So bear with me. I probably just spelled this wrong. There's another spot that I have as well. There we go. The triple dipper. The triple dipper. It's summertime. Why not go triple dip this motherfucker? We're going to take the first 5 minus a half for the run line. This thing's gotten steamed. There has been some cash coming in. I'm fading this over movement on this spot here, at least for the first 5. I'm double dipping my White Sox spots here. The first 5 run line, and then the first 5 under. I got the 4. There's some 4.5s out there. It's not FanDuel that has the best number. In fact, DraftKings has a 4.5 at minus 130. If this thing does roast over, it's either going 2-0 or 10-2. And that's why I opted to go with the 4. The 4 at minus 110. BetMGM has that number available right now. Keeps the juice down. And I don't think that run, if it's a push, it's a push. I still got that action with the Sox. But then I also jumped in there with the Crochet factor out there with the hit allowance. The Pirates, they've been hitting the ball well, I guess, as if you will. But they're 21 in OBA against Southpaws. They're also cracking a 25% strikeout rate. That doesn't strike you as a spot where Crochet is going to go walk guys. And if he does walk them, they're still not hitting. with this guy, which is where I jumped into that spot. Going to be getting ready. This is his last start to tune up, so I don't know how long he goes either. That's where the hits factor came in for me. If he's out there shoving, okay. If it's a 2-1 game and he's grinding it out and there's guys all over the place, ducks on the pond, and he's trying to get him out of there and he's just playing to contact to finish this thing off, which shouldn't happen with a 25% K rate. I don't know that they just go. I don't think they put him in there deep. I do think the bullpen factors in. That's the problem. A lot just happened in my head when I said that. That's why I didn't take the Sox full game. I don't like that bullpen. There's no question about it. We've in the total for that matter as well. Not concerned about Crochet coming out here figuring it out, but I do think that he does find a way to handle these bats. That's where I like that under 4.5. Minus 125 is the spot that I got that at. And then, of course, we know the White Sox, and we've talked at nauseum about it with the first 5 in the game. What I will say is this. White Sox struggle against lefties, but that's in the full year picture, and we've talked time and again about these bats coming back. No need to keep going down that road. Marco Gonzalez. First start since the forearm injury. Now, this number's moving a little bit on that first 5 from that 3.5 to 4.5. That's where I do want to take the opportunity to reverse that movement. If he does get in trouble, I do believe they go out there and they use some of those bullpen pieces. So I think that's going to be a fine situation as far as that first 5 under is concerned. He does pitch to contact, which is why I like that first 5 spot out there. Also, teams that are less than a minus 140 with a low total, and the starter revenge spot. Crochet looking to bounce back out there. There's 2 teams that fit this criteria today. The Cardinals and the White Sox. They're 50-6 in those spots. Favorites that are shorter than minus 140 when they play the first game of the series are 34-16 on the run line. They're covering the run line by 1.3 runs a game. If the starter lost the last 2 starts, and it was a favorite the last time out. So that's another little bounce back revenge spot specific to the first game of the series as well. 34-16. Also, we see that those teams, again, low total, starter revenge in the favorite role, 50-6. I don't want to get involved with the bullpen business, but I do think there's enough fuckery going on with this Gonzalez coming back from the IL, Crochet bouncing back, getting ready for the All-Star break. I think it's the perfect storm for us to hit a 3 spot on this White Sox game, and none of it has to do with the full game. So there's a little action to get jacked up about for this game itself. And we got a grandma spot coming up, you guys. Ramon says 2-0 Tigers. Nerfy loses. Fuck! It's okay. It's okay. Anytime I get it seems like I'm building a trend. When the Nerfy goes down, whenever a show play starts, I rush to get it in and I rush to take it out. I can't wait to take that out. It's all right. We'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. No worries there, guys. It's all good. Shit happens. But there you go. White Sox action for me. All focused in on this pitching matchup specific to the opportunity to isolate this guy coming back on the IL. Let's move on. What game do we have next? The Cubs and Cardinals. I just talked to you guys. Another system fit for this Cardinals team. Pitcher to bounce back, 82% of the bet, 76% of the cash on the Cardinals. What makes me nervous about the Cardinals is this Cubs team and what they were out there to do to the Baltimore Orioles. I don't know. I mean, here's that road dog spot, right? We talked about it yesterday with the road dog teams moving. What was that? I think that was another 25-point spot. The road dogs in the month of July versus June have gone out there and fired up. And the Cardinals have, those names. We have named batters in Goldschmidt and Arenado, the whole gang out there for St. Louis. Do the Cubs want to go out here and smack them in the mouth? Makes me a little nervous. The total went from 8.5 to 8, 52% of the bets and 63% of the cash on the over with a half a run downward movement. Mariners and Angels. See aforementioned shit list. Not going to fuck with the Angels today. This Mariners team went from minus 134 to minus 130. But this is line stabilization because the Angels line went from 114 to plus 123. So basically, it might look like there's movement, but I think this is where, DraftKings opens the line early, and then everybody else reacts to how they want to go figure this thing out. 86% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the over. I'm sorry, on the Seattle Mariners. 86% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners. Total that's got 91% of the bets, 91% of the cash on the over has slightly dropped. And it's Brian, 2 going out there for Seattle, 1.77, 3-1 season record. And there's Tyler Anderson. Is he the best pitching arm that the Angels have? Maybe. 2.81 ERA, 8-8 on season. Not fucking with him. Not fucking with that game. I did see some strong plays there that talked about Seattle being the spot. Let me see if I can find one of those really quick. I can't, and it doesn't matter because I'm not playing it anyway. So onward. Let's move on to this next baseball game that we've got here for you guys. 2 more plays for you guys on the card for me. I'm going back to it. Now, I caught this pre-pitching change, and I play action, so you guys know the deal. I don't care about the starting pitcher overall. But we do have some movement. This line opened up as the Braves, minus 132 now, plus 106. Pros versus Joe situation. 71% of the bets, 71% of the bets on the Braves, but 67% of the cash on the Padres. Vasquez with a 4.66 ERA, 2-4. He's going against Schwellenbach with a 5.02 ERA, 2-4 on the season. Someone's got to win this game. I think it's got to be the Braves in this spot here. The Padres caught a stint. Bats got hot. Won a big game against Arizona 10-8. They've dropped 4 in a row. They got a little mini sweep there against Seattle. What a shame that was against Seattle as well. Seattle being on the road, extended road trip. Looking at this spot where the Padres were starting to get hot again from a batting perspective, but now they've regressed. They just got shut out 2-0. They lost the game before that 8-3. They lost 9-1. They lost 7-5. And the Braves come out, win the first 2 games against Arizona, 5-4 and 6-2. Dump 1 7-5. Dump 1 1-0. So both these teams coming off the shutout. I was comfortable with this 8.5. Let me see just so we're all playing in the same ballpark for last call here, or last call. Whoops. So we're all playing in the same ballpark with pre-gaming. Let me just see what we can get for this number with Atlanta in the under right now, so we can lock it in and track it appropriately. I think, for anybody that is overly concerned, I think people that are concerned about the action versus the listed, I don't want to say it unequivocally, but there's a lot of game players out there. I talked about this where I see these, this one didn't count because I chose listed this time instead of action and shit like that. You're not going to get that out of me. I think that there's the advantage when they do fuck around with these things here. All right, here's what we got. Same game parlay. Atlanta and the under 8 is plus 305. It's good for me. It's good for me. I'll take it. I mean, shit, that's a best case scenario. For anybody that's good, I'm going to go back in there and play it again as well because it's just moved 55 cents in my favor. And I'm going to take this one again too. I don't care. I'll fall into it if I have to. It won't be the first time. Certainly won't be the last time. But a couple things moving in the Braves' direction now. Braves are in a 7-0 spot in the bounce back after a loss as a favorite, especially when the favorite, the team they're playing is a favorite that lost as a favorite. There's a big Major League Baseball playing a team that lost as a favorite. Now, both these teams coming off that shutout as well. Shit show. It's a 547, 397 game sample across Major League Baseball. What I like about this here is both these bullpens are rocking. They're fresh. They didn't use a lot of pieces in their previous series because especially those last games with those shutouts, those pitchers were shutting shit down. I did have a trend away favorites when they were pick them to a minus 145 after a 1-0 loss are 57 and 18. So keep that one in mind for the future. Now that there's been this pitching change and things have kind of gotten out of whack, that's very much a situation that will not be valid. But I still believe in this spot. I still believe this under specifically jumped off the radar for me. Just seeing the lack of bats yesterday. I think now these two teams, again, with hitters, with names, with all-star players, probably not in a position to go out there and try to slug it out for a 100-99 type of final. So, under 80. Wouldn't that be good? Under 80. What was I doing? There's some Atlanta action for you guys. I'm rolling back to it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Coin, yeah, the line moved because of the pitching. I don't care. I don't care. Now, if I was in listed mode, that bet would cancel and I'd be able to go back in and take this one without having to double dip it. But it's dollar cost averaging. I mean, I got it at what was it, minus 115? Now it's plus 108. So the average, I like the team regardless. I think in this case here, if you look at that dollar cost averaging, you buy a stock at, $10 a share and it drops down to $8 a share and you buy more of it. It only costs you $9 a share as a whole. It's kind of the same deal here. Minus 115 to call plus 110 means we're sitting around a even money spot, a minus 102 spot. It's fine. We talked about that with that Arizona series. Granted, the last two games didn't go all the way we needed them to, but give me this Atlanta team at a low price spot. Why? Why do I say that I'm good either way? Because here's a team that has a lot to play for and battling, especially in the NL East between the Mets, the Phillies, and now the Braves, 51 and 41. The Padres, I think they're going to try to play some games as well. I think that's why the score goes low, but 49 and 47. The Braves need this game. They can't afford to fuck around and let this one drop by the wayside, especially after Philly bludgeons Oakland today. I think it's a big opportunity for them to step to the occasion, play some defense. You're going to see a lot of guys running down foul tips trying to get those outs. And I think we see a lower scoring game because of it. So great news on the pitching change. We just got the game that I like because of the situation with the series and the All-Star break, and we got it at a better price. So I wish the trends were still alive for it, but that is okay. Toronto and Arizona, 9.5 dropped to 8.5. So we got a full line movement downward. Probably an overspot. Probably a Toronto in the overspot. But I'm not touching this one. The Diamondbacks moved from minus 130 to minus 120. 77% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. Yet we've got a 10-cent movement against it. Probably should have Toronto in there as that plus 110 spot. And the over, especially now that it's going to be at 8.5. What does that look like? Let me look at that with you guys while we're here. Let's just finish this thing up. I've got one more baseball game. I've got 2 WNBA games for you. Maybe a third. Maybe I'll get an action in all 3. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to fuck around with it. I'm not going to play it right now anyways. If I do, I'll drop something later for you guys. Minnesota Twins and the San Francisco Giants, 10:15 p.m. action in this one. This line opened up at minus 142. Road favorites are the Minnesota Twins, now minus 145. 79% of the bets, 92% of the cash on the Twins. Half a point of movement upward, 7.5 to 8s, with 97% of the bets and 96% of the cash. Joe Ryan, Harrison. Joe Ryan, 3.29 ERA, 6-5 on the season. Kyle Harrison, 4.24 ERA, 4-4 on the season. I was looking at this game and I was thinking specifically about these Twins. We've talked about it. Nobody piles together wins more than the Twins. Houston, 9-3, 3-2. White Sox, they win 8-6. They drop 1, 3-1. Then they go back in there and they start streaking. They're not a win 1, lose 1. They're a win 5, lose 5 team. The Giants, I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. 1-4 in their last 5. They had a win against Toronto 4-3. They lost 10-6, 5-3. They lost to Cleveland 5-4 and 5-4. Back-to-back 5-4 losses on those guys. I'm looking at this Joe Ryan matchup for me, specifically, as I was thinking about this one here. I do like his strikeouts. I don't like taking strikeouts when they're at 6.5, though. Does he go out there and shove? I mean, you probably got to play it at 8 or 9 to get that juice down from minus 125. So I did like Joe Ryan to, in fact, come out here to shove. And the Twins, hottest hitting team in baseball, or at least one of them, 3.81 OBA, 205 ISO in the past week. We look at that week. We don't look at the fucking 65-day numbers. Who cares what they did in May? They're destroying lefties. Destroying them with a 3.45 OBA, a 181 ISO over the season, the entire season. And they're only heating up in that last week. Buy on for this Minnesota team. They also don't strike out against lefties. A sub 20% strikeout rate against lefties. Harrison had that extended injury factor, trying to get himself back into the rotation, but he only went 3.1 innings in his first start back last week. They're putting him on that pitch count. They're still trying to figure this thing out, and they might think he's going to go out there and get fucking torched. To me, he had 72 pitches, I think the number was. He had 4 runs allowed, gave up 4 hits, a home run, walked 4 dudes. And you're going to take this hottest hitting team in baseball and the Twins and roll them out there? Yeah, I'm going to take my shot on this one. And the Giants, we just talked about their shit show of batting perspective. 287 OBA, and they're striking out at almost 28%. Give me this Joe Ryan to go out there and shove it right up their asses. I think it's a great spot for this Minnesota Twins team. -0.5 at -130 is telling. The books agree with that. They're not sure what Harrison's going to give us. And that's the way it goes. Fanatical Jim's in the house. Says, what up, Mikey in chat? Let's cash those tickets this weekend. And there's shout out to my guy, Razor Sharp Picks. We talked at the onset of the show. Biggest, best tag team stream duos in the game. Razor Sharp Picks and Sports Money coming at you guys on Monday. Going to have a lot of fun. Trap God says, hey, Mikey, I took over 9 of the Yanks-O's game. One of these pitchers getting lit up, if not both. Both their bats have been ice cold, but I get it. I mean, it's a good spot to jump in there, especially seeing the opposite of what you would expect, especially Cole on the bump. I get it. I totally get it. Totally makes sense to me. All right, let's move over to the WNBA, you guys. I've got two plays that I'm on for the WNBA. I was thinking about a third. I got to get rolling because I want to do a player prop parlay that I have not gotten in yet. But Mercury and Fever situation with a line at 172.5 now moved to 173 in this game. 35% of the bets, 59% of the cash on the over. We know what's going on here. 12-10 Mercury, 9-14 Fever. Caitlin Clark trying to go out there and resurrect this Fever team probably a year too early in that process. Teams, this is a WNBA wide 55% win ratio over the last 3 years. Teams often over go under. It's just simple as it gets. 55% win ratio. Off the over, they go under. But here's the factor for you guys, especially with the Mercury being in this spot. As we're looking at this total, slight movement, favorite to dog. Now we're seeing this money coming back in on this Mercury side of things. Books are looking at this thing being about a pick 'em. And if it's about a pick 'em, then typically I would see that original favorite's going to be the one that has to lead the way and change the pace. What do the Mercury do when it comes to dictating offense and defense after a spot where they've allowed 94-plus points? They're 12-0 to the under. A perfect under for this Mercury team. 12-0. A line less than 6.5 after getting blasted by 94 or more points out there. They ain't going to let the Fever come in there and blast them. It's been the under season now in the WNBA. I commented on this the other day to our guy, Billy Briz. I said, man, the unders have been cashing like crazy. We got another one yesterday, and I think that's a great spot out there for this Fever game. So make sure you line shop because you're going to want to absolutely get the best number you can on this one. Every half a point is going to matter out there. The number that I locked in was 174.5. Let's see what we still have out there. All right, so it has come back a little bit. It has come back to 172.5. Well, there's a 173 at Bet Rivers. DK's got a 173. I'm good with that. I mean, it's a 1.5, but the fact that it moved up, now it's coming back, shows you that, again, those sharps are looking at where's that tag price, 172 to 174.5. They want that 173 number as their dollar cost average or their middle spot out there. So if we can get 173, it's still on the head. 172.5's okay. You're flirting with the original number out there. This is a fucking high number. This number is bigger than the Aces game. And the Aces are one of the highest scoring teams in the WNBA. We're looking at this total for the Aces at 169.5. I was inclined at first look to go over, but the second play I took for you guys, I know. If you like overs, don't follow me in the WNBA. We're going to win, but it ain't going to be pretty. The Lynx moved from +3.5 to +6.5, 38% of the bets and 45% of the cash on this road team. This total's moved up 2.5 points from 152.5 to 154.5. 59% of the bets on the under, but it's 50-50 as far as this total is concerned. And this is a battle. This is going to be a good game. 16-6 Minnesota Lynx. This one might make the TV. I might check out what these girls are doing. 14-8 for the Seattle Storm. And as I was looking at this one, two things I like. First of all, I like Jewel Lloyd. Look for this girl's point spots out there. She's been nasty dirty when it comes to getting things done. Seattle is 7-0 against the spread when they allow 74 or more points their last home game. So they go out there and they lock things down. As a -6, I typically associate the favorite and the unders. They're going to go out there and dictate pace. The problem for Seattle, well, two things. Seattle's a fast team. They're the second fastest team in the WNBA. The Lynx are middle of the, well, not even middle of the pack. They're towards the bottom. They're not a fast-paced team. Seattle likes to go run pace. Every time they do, the Lynx stick it in their face. When they go out there, especially the last time they played, when they play a fast-paced team, they're beating them by an average of almost 14 points a game. The Lynx could be live dog in the spot. The challenge, though, when we look at this thing as a whole, it's been ping-ponging on the line. Nafisha Collier missed 2 games. Numbers coming down. Potential, again, I think in this Lynx spot of things. 3.5, I would have probably jumped in where this line opened with Seattle. I wonder if Nafisha's going to be playing now that we see this number moving back up. I haven't seen the actual final report on this one. She's not on the injury report that I can see. So maybe that's why we did get this line moving back. I just think this is a spot when you look at these matchups and how these teams play. If you go out there and run pace, the Lynx are going to kick your ass. So you have to adapt. You have to try to run that slower pace game that the Lynx play. And you got to capitalize on every bucket you shoot out there if you're going to go and cover a 6. We've heard from our guy, Billy Briz. 6 might as well be an 8 or a 10. Are they going to go out there and win this thing by double digits? I don't think so. Because if they do pick up pace, they fall behind a little bit and start moving fast. That's only going to play into the quicksand that is the way this Lynx offense rolls things out there. The Seattle team, though, if you are looking, every time they played the Lynx, they did win the first quarters. I'm not a first quarter guy myself, but the numbers tell me that that's a potential spot out there. These two teams, though, big under teams in the WNBA as well. Despite pace, 13 unders collectively. Injury factors, I don't know what the final results are going to look like for this thing. To me, it just comes down to a situation where I want to get on the under in this game here. I think this is a spot where it's probably indexed pretty close. It's going to be tight, but 154.5. Now we've seen that 2.5 points of movement. I think we can get underneath that thing. If you're looking for the first quarter, by the way, as I mentioned, that Seattle first quarter, 1.5's out there. Starting to see some 2s and 2.5. So some spots that you want to look for if you're going to play that first quarter and get on it early, especially knowing that Seattle's 7-0 at home after they got busted up that previous game defensively. I just think all things kind of point to this thing being a spot where we see, in fact, that lower scoring opportunity to cash. That's my best play for this game. That's my best bet, I believe, for the WNBA in its entirety. I will give you guys one last look or one last thought when it comes to the WNBA. The Aces. If you're looking at them Aces, now that things have got their injuries are back, we talked about we were on top of this one 2 weeks before the injury factor. Now things are rolling back with the Dream and the Aces. Aces moved from 13 to 14.5. This is a 7:30 start, so this one will pop off in 17 minutes. When the total is greater than a 161.5, the Aces are 10-0. Atlanta, 0-8 against the spread in the dog roll after letting up a certain amount of team total points. So there is an intersecting 0 spot. 14-7 Aces, 7-14 Dream. I just didn't want to get involved in this game. The total's high. The points are high. I would almost parlay the Aces money line with the over and see if that can be a nice plus money spot for you. But there is no official play for me. The official spot for me is going to be on that Seattle spot. I like the under in that game. I leaned at Jewel Lloyd points over. Her 1.5 threes got boxed out now. This thing got juiced to -160s in those spots. Also, I'm on that Fever under as well. So that's it, boys and girls. We've gotten to the end of the show. Unfortunately, we got to go. But you don't got to go far because we're going to be back here this weekend live streaming with everybody. We're giving you guys the trifecta. We got ourselves Saturday, UFC, MLB, WNBA. We'll talk PGA. We'll talk Copa. We'll talk Euros. We'll talk everything out there. We might even throw some fucking pickles on the wall and see which one slides down faster. That's how Saturday's going to roll. Sunday, we got that Copa stream going. We're going to be live at Sunday night. Cocktails and soccer. Way to enjoy a nice Sunday evening. What's nice about soccer, keep their shit together. It's about a 2-hour game. So that won't be too bad. And then Monday, we roll in with our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys don't want to miss out. He's dropping some action in the chat for us. Speaking of my guy, He's on the Mets game under 8.5. He likes the Padres money line. He's going against me on that spot there. He went against me with them Angels and Rangers. He got me. I'm coming back, Razor. I'm coming back. Going to be a ton of fun, you guys. We got Jay Peasy, Oldie, Razor Sharp, Coin, Red Bearded Chick, Trap God, Fanatical Jim. I know we'll see you tomorrow, Fanatical Jim. Coin, Cliff Yang, all you guys. Ramon Scott's my guy. Joe T, Bo Jackson, Justin McKelvey, Morgan Spooner, AOD. Let's go, you guys. Let's have ourselves a night. Justin, Cameron, Sinette, Stirring Company. Step Back Jay. What's up, Step Back Jay? Fernando Mendoza. You guys busting out soccer plays. I love it. Scott Blaster. We're all working together to crack these bookies over the head. Let's have ourselves a Friday. Why not us? On that note, you guys, good luck with your bets. Good luck with your Fridays. Get those honey-do lists done. Tonight, we got to get after it tomorrow. We got to get after it Sunday. Sunday's a brunch time. You go out there, have some brunch. But when you come back Sunday night, we're cashing in soccer, and it's going to roll into Monday, you guys. I love you. I hope you guys get that cash, and I will see you guys